Hey everyone, Jacob here from That Time We Woke Up in a Podcast and Had to Explain Manga, our heated adventures over analyzing manga we find interesting, aka the Over Manga Cast. So, did you ever hear a premise to a story so insane you had to read it, and then it turned out to be one of the most normal and straightforward examinations of empathy, morality, and ethics you've encountered in a long time? This time we read The Darwin Incident by Shun Umezawa, Volumes 1 and 2, humanzee. And somehow he's the normal, reasonable one, I tell you, man.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam, and as always, here at the top of the show, we talk about our familiarity with what we read this week. I watched Gym Partner as a Monkey. I still have a few vocal texts from it, but that's not what this is. I have not read this manga at all, so this is a entirely fresh read for me. How about you, Matt?
Well, Sam, he's a chimpanzee, not a monkey, so really
They do
really
make that
showing your
distinction
biases.
later.
But I had heard nothing of this until it got recommended for us to read, so here we are.
All right, Jay, how about you?
I haven't heard of this. This is probably one of those things I probably would not have discovered if it wasn't recommended for us, but I was glad to have read it. Thank you, whoever recommended this. Continue to listen to our podcast and recommend us more good reading.
All right, and Jacob.
When we went over the premise of this manga, I was all prepared to do the 2 nickels joke with this in 14. Turns out this is actually one of the most straightforward and very easily parsable manga we've ever read somehow, despite what the premise is.
I know writers who use subtext, and they're all cowards.
We'll get to the villain and his very on-the-nose name.
Oh, you also had the pareidolia of thinking that his last name was Firebrand?
His last name is Firebrand with a couple of syllables moved around, because this manga is not subtle.
What is subtlety?
Something that this mangaka does not believe in.
Yes. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so we start off with the opening scene of 28 Days Later.
You wish.
With Anonymous attacking a animal research facility in a real Payday 2 move.
Yep.
The one guy in the 3-piece suit really brings it together.
I love how they just open the cages and all the rats and all the cats and all the dogs go on the floor together, and I'm like, well, this is ending one way.
Nothing bad can happen from this.
Indiscriminately releasing a bunch of animals that were previously in human captivity for an undisclosed amount of time will surely result in them surviving.
Oh, interesting. I just thought they were going to eat each other, because we don't know how long they've been in those cages, and if they were humanely fed. Also, this just reminds me of PETA. God, I hate PETA.
Yes, you are correct to do so.
We will get to the bit with PETA. I have a bit for PETA later, because
Jay's known distaste of Mediterranean food aside.
Don't put that on me. No. Absolutely not.
But one thing that is interesting is that while the Animal Liberation Alliance, the ALA, is holding up this facility, at one point, in order to threaten the scientists, they shoot the walls above them. And there's a little aside between the people like, hey, we're not trying to actually murder people here. We're not trying to kill anybody. We're just trying to free the animals.
They changed their tune later.
They changed their tune later quite a lot. And it's interesting to think about because, this opening incident is very much the flashpoint for the entire plot, as one would expect. But the thing that makes it actually as pivotal as it is that when they are freeing all the animals, they find a chimpanzee in a pool of blood, and they somehow diagnose that she is currently going through a miscarriage. So they take her to the nearest animal hospital, where an emergency C-section is performed and the baby is extracted.
Oh, Sam, it's more convoluted than that. They send her to the nearest place that can do a monkey C-section because this is a research institute in California. They send her to St. Louis.
Yeah, the Kornberg Primate Research Institute in St. Louis, Missouri. It's Missouri in there. Have you ever been to Missouri?
And remember that utter lack of subtlety? For the first, several chapters, I read that as Cronenberg.
Me too. Again, pareidolia. It looks like Cronenberg.
But, yeah, so they have to do an emergency C-section, and they do a bunch of tests to confirm, because it appears this baby chimp is not 100% chimpanzee, but half human. A humanzee.
A hybrid of human and chimp.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Time skip, 15 years later.
In Shrews, Missouri.
Funnily enough, this is basically as weird as it gets, and from the rest of this, it's actually really straightforward.
All I know is
Yeah.
the second I saw Missouri showing up in the location tags, I'm like, ooh, Japan, what are you gonna do? I know the Midwest. What are you gonna say? Oh.
I forget exactly what it was, but there was something that happened. It was a really subtle thing. It was one of those flyover moments, but it's for a moment I'm like,
Flyover, like the Midwest.
Yeah, like the Midwest. It was one of those moments where it's like, wait, I thought this is in America. That's very Japanese. Oh, right. Mangaka. Yep, okay.
Wait, what?
This is still Missouri. I forget what it was exactly, but there was a Japanism somewhere that took me out of it.
The one for me is later in the steakhouse. They're eating off the plates you get at a Japanese, the rectangular special plates you get in a Japanese restaurant, and I'm like, I don't think a steakhouse would a steakhouse is fine dining in the context they're using it in, but it's being a family restaurant, and I'm like, probably not. Oh, speaking of lack of subtlety, I like when we go through the hallway. There's a bunch of
the wall of exposition.
Yeah, and we find out the scientist who impregnated a chimpanzee with a hybrid baby is Dr. Grossman.
I mean,
subtlety for you?
I don't disagree with the assessment.
He f***ed that chimp, right?
What?
Probably not, but
Probably not. I mean, that's where your mind goes, because y'all nasty, but...
There's a scene later that brings up some questions.
There is
but...
a scene, yes.
Genetic father revealed to be missing biologist Dr. Grossman. I love how in shadow he is, like the villain in a James Bond movie in the newspaper pictures.
Made by people like you.
I do like how this couple has just an entire wall of baby pictures of their beloved half-chimp son.
I mean, that's normal. It's the news articles for me. Why do those have to be displayed everywhere along this wall?
Well, yeah, especially
all of that.
Well, especially the one mentioning Dr. Grossman, because the other two,
that I can understand.
I really like these two. They are very doting parents, and they have that vibe. They're trying not to be helicopter parents, but
failing horribly,
Helen,
and immediately I wanted to. I don't know. They came on way too strong, despite the circumstances, which I understand. But the parents were getting on my nerves early on, and I was just like,
well, early on, especially the mom comes on very strong. But I like the way that they because she's established as she's trying really, really hard not to be a helicopter mom because she knows it's not good. But it's
all her instincts are saying, be a helicopter mom.
And it's it's clear the more it goes on, the reason why she's so intense is because her love is that deep and that genuine. And I liked that aspect of her character.
I don't know. It just kind of reminds me of those crazy girlfriends who are like, oh, you don't understand my love. I love you so much.
and then you end up in their basement tied to a stake.
Uh,
I didn't get yandere from her, but I can see where that comes from. Yeah, Dr. Gilbert Stein and his wife, Hannah Stein Esquire, because she's a lawyer, they adopted Charlie, the humanzee, after his emergency C-section birth. Dr. Stein is the one who performed the operation, and they have raised him for the last 15 years. And okay, this manga somehow toes the line of every character is a, like, strawman spouting vessel of an ideology, but they're all still really believable as people.
I mean, they're believable as people, not necessarily people that I would find or I would envision would be too fun to just hang around with casually.
Definitely not a fun hang. You are right about that.
I mean,
it's a lot of really intense people, but like because it's like the parents couple, like I really like them because like they're like you can see their like relationship dynamic where dad's kind of chill and relaxed about things, and he has this sort of like
he's got the John Krasinski like goatee and beard combo of being like the cool dad.
Yeah. And meanwhile, mom is it's like the focused, get stuff done type. And then we get
even in casual clothes, she's very like severe and lawyerly.
Yeah. And then we get the first real scene with Charlie, and I really like this scene because it basically establishes, it doesn't just establish like who Charlie is at a fundamental level, it also shows how emotionally intelligent Charlie is. Kind of standard expected scene of, oh, a butterfly has been caught in a spider web, is about to get eaten by the spider, and the empathetic main character saves the butterfly. But when he's asked what he was doing, he acknowledged, like, the only thing he says is, there was a spider and I took its food away from it. Like,
yeah,
there's a degree where Charlie is like, so many people will speak about and for Charlie in so many cases, and like, I mean, like, the climax of this section is an expectation of the villain thinking that Charlie doesn't understand like the scope and the emotional weight of the way that he thinks and the way he does things. And this scene right at the beginning of the manga, like right at the top of the first chapter, establishes no, Charlie is fully aware of the subtleties and the nuances of the way he thinks and the way he does things, and he understands that it's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't necessarily have a better option, and like that's his struggle, that's where he seeks to grow, but he's fully aware of this and is, intending to be better therein.
Yeah. This establishes Charlie's worldview of like everything that is living should live as long as possible and with the least amount of suffering possible. Also, no life is inherently more valuable than the other. The butterfly is not more inherently valuable than the spider. He saved the butterfly because he wanted to minimize suffering. But the key word there is minimize, not eliminate. He knows the spider will go hungry. It's really... it's an interesting perspective.
There's also a kind of thing there about like not making bold declarative statements about the values either. It's just like, it's what I feel like in this moment. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not going to assign a law to it. Like, I'm not,
I really
I'm just one guy.
appreciate Charlie's perspective throughout this entire, I feel like the dynamic is more so obviously with the parents, but also those who Charlie surrounds himself with, all come from their various pocket of ideology or how they view the various dynamics of the world, and we'll certainly dissect this later, but it's really interesting that, and what really sticks out is Charlie in his singularity just doesn't seem to really have like that same diatribe tendency to just boast his philosophy onto others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just kind of is, and he easily receives his information. He hears people out. He, lets people say their piece. He comments occasionally, but we never really get a full cohesive idea of, what beliefs or thoughts he is fully espoused, at least not in its entirety. He just kind of is just like, I'm just here, and yeah,
I'm just doing my best.
I'm just doing my best,
Unlike
guys.
most other characters, he does not preach at the fourth wall.
Yeah.
and in a funny way, that actually makes his argument from a fourth wall perspective the most persuasive. There's a lot of different ways that you can describe the subtlety and nuance of Charlie's perspective, and I think that there is value in doing that. But the short version is Charlie's entire ideology and philosophy is just boiled down to its most basic level. Don't be an asshole. Just do your best. And that ultimately is a really, especially given who not just the antagonist, but who the villains of this story are, it's a really powerful counter message that basically kneecaps every seemingly good point that they have. It's really interesting because they do establish that Charlie is not perfect. He's not all-knowing. He's not like right or clairvoyant, because at the end of the day, he acknowledges the thing that we are introduced to him at, like, because like obviously we saw him as a baby, but this is our introduction to him as a person, and we see him do this act that you could very easily boil down to, like, the vegan lifestyle or whatever. But the first words he speaks to us is acknowledging that it's not so simple as that, and I need to be better. But like he's also not like stressing over it. Like it's not like, like tearing away at him. He's just like, I did what I thought was best in the moment, and the next time an opportunity comes up, I'm going to try to be better than that.
Yep.
So let's go to high school.
Yay.
Where nothing bad will happen.
I love this so much. Like it sets you up to expect, like, my gym partner is a monkey, or like just manga shenanigans.
You expect it to be silly fun.
Like the ALA at the start of the manga are wearing Guy Fawkes masks and scared to actually hurt people. And then you go to, hey, the half-chimpanzee kid is going to high school. Ain't that wacky? It feels very lighthearted, despite, the very... despite the otherwise overtly serious tone, it feels very cartoony. And we get a bit more of that with the first shonen action moment from Charlie, where...
Yeah, we get him trying to fit into school, and then there's a cat in a tree, and it's almost one of those ones where, like, this is another case of, I know writers who use subtlety where it's like, you expect Charlie to climb the tree, but no, that's too obvious.
It's the loner girl in a hoodie named Lucy.
I love her hoodies. Her hoodies are amazing.
It's very good.
One of them literally is just a Pornhub hoodie that she wears to school.
That's
I
definitely...
mean,
so for context, that's not nearly... I guess there was similar around the whole Playboy bunny thing that girls used to wear in high school, too.
Yeah.
So, that's been going on probably forever. If it's kind of a rise of adults.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's such an obvious, like, I'm the counterculture one type thing. Like, it's so blunt. It's so intentionally and deftly blunt.
Yep. But
or like how she always has the hood up because she's an outsider and is closed off from her peers.
Yeah. But she climbs up into the tree to save the cat. The branch is about to break under her weight, so Charlie leaps out of his classroom, saves her and the cat. and gets both of them down to the ground safely.
I also just want to point out they say later that they put up some flyers to find a foster home for that cat.
Mhm.
That cat's someone's pet. Like, it is a fat, like, pure white tabby.
And
yeah.
doesn't react to people at all.
Like that is a house cat.
That is a
They
house
should
cat.
go find
cat.
where it's
Cat.
from.
Well, you gotta see if it's chipped or if it has a tag on it. So, I mean, that would be my first reaction if it's chipped. If not, it's just a well-fed communal cat.
This is my cat now. That's the cat distribution system, right?
Yes, it is.
They don't tell you this, but those cats in the courtyard don't belong to anybody.
They're
can have 'em.
free.
This small Midwest town with its big college campus high school.
Yeah. That's not even an exaggeration, yeah.
Yeah. But Lucy obviously is like, hey, that was pretty cool. You literally saved my life. Thank you for that. I will have lunch with you in the cafeteria now because everybody else is shunning you. What's it like to be a hybrid of a human and a chimpanzee? I don't know. What's it like to be human? You know what?
That's another
Based
really...
answer. Let's be
Word.
friends.
Yes.
That's another really good moment from Charlie where, because in a funny way, they both kind of make the same point, but Charlie does it so much more concisely, which ultimately it comes down to, perspective. If like you only have your own life to like see the world from, so it's impossible to truly see through somebody else's eyes, which is like the ultimate barrier of empathy. And they both just sort of have the perspective of, I'm not good at trying, but I'm going to try anyway.
Yep.
And that makes a connection between them.
We also get introduced to my favorite guy, parenthesis derogatory.
Ozzy?
Yeah, Ozzy. The school bully, he is... him and his stupid soul patch is...
Yes. Yeah, known lover of souls patches.
He's a Redditor straw man.
I love this guy because he comes in like he's supposed to be the school bully character, and he's going like,
nobody takes him
what?
seriously.
You little chimpanzee, you're a vegan? Oh, just also, full disclosure right here. This manga refers to vegans as if they are a religious movement.
Well, it's later revealed that he's personally attacked because his family owns a restaurant in town. So he has strong feelings based on the fact that his family is involved in the restaurant business. And those vegans, they're always starting to come up in the restaurants.
But you know that one ex from Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
yes.
I mean...
Yes.
Well, I mean, we're joking about this, but like, once again, this is a case of the manga being as unsubtle as humanly possible, or humanzeely possible, whatever. There's a reason why veganism was picked, because for some people it is a religious movement and they make it everybody else's problem, and that's the stereotype about them. It's like I almost want to make a joke where it's like I say, whereas normal vegans like depicted here, I'm told they exist, but it's like the fact that I even want to make that joke kind of proves the manga's point a little bit. The immediate reaction that people have and the optics of it and the stereotyping that people do, it's
a primary theme of the manga.
It's a thing that happens because that's just the way human beings take in information. That's the way any living thing takes in information, but it also has this ability to just annihilate subtlety and context and just even in cases the identity of a person. It is extremely destructive, and not being cognizant of that is one of the easiest ways that you can not follow Charlie's do as little harm as possible mantra, which is a pretty good perspective to take. Ideology, you get what I mean.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not even 100% sure I'd say that. I think a lot of this manga is Charlie being slow to react and people projecting a lot of their own thoughts onto him.
Oh, very much so. People are projecting
So
on him.
I'm hesitant to do that now in the discussion. Like, well, actually, did he ever actually say anything directly to that couldn't be misconstrued as just like matter of fact? Like, it's interesting.
This is a prime example of that because Ozzy, the Mr. Soulpatch, he goes and hits Charlie with the completely insane hypothetical of like, oh yeah, you vegans, you think that all lives are equal, including animals, huh? So how about this? What if a mouse with a deadly disease was about to bite you and you had a gun? What would you do then? Huh? Gotcha.
I love the whataboutisms, and it's just like quite literally
so much whataboutism.
Yeah, and was this before or after he answered his question? He's like, "Well, I'm vegan, but I was just because
I would defend myself."
Well, no, he's just saying like that's just how I was raised. Didn't attach any emotion or any really strong impetus on it. Just, that's just what I'm used to.
I'm literally vegan because that's what my parents are. Like that's just the environment I grew up in. And if a mouse with the bubonic plague was coming at me, I'd probably shoot it. But if you had the bubonic plague,
I'd shoot you too, buddy.
It's one of those, because it's like what I said before about like Charlie's perspective being like just do your best and do as little harm as possible. Like it's statements like these that is kind of where I'm coming from when like I say those sorts of things, because it's like he does say that he's vegan because he chooses to be. Like, he's weighed the options and this is what he's picked, but he's also willing to react to changing situations and differing opinions. He's willing to change should the need arise. I don't want to hurt anybody, but I'll defend myself. That's
yeah, rather than knee-jerk reacting on bias like basically everybody else in the manga does, Charlie actually considers things, which is very which is shockingly rare.
Yeah, he's a very admirable character in a lot of ways, because I mean, like, in a lot of cases people like will perceive him as like either not understanding or like they'll start projecting their ideas onto him, and really what Charlie is doing is he's stopping, he's considering, he's weighing the options, and he's trying to just do the mental math of it, like what's the least jerkish thing to do. I pick that one. There's no like deeper meaning to it.
Indeed.
My favorite part about this soapbox is they make the bully character sound so insane with his like, all vegans think this, that you would rather die than shoot an animal.
That sounds like a caricature of a person.
What an incredibly, yeah, exactly, a caricature of what these vegans are like. And then we hear the leader of ALA and you're like, oh shit, actually maybe Bully had a point.
Well, and I mean, like that's kind of why I love this manga so much, because like you do have people who are wackadoodles like that. Like, that does exist. The stereotypes come from somewhere. It's almost always a minority you shouldn't judge the whole on.
No rational person would think this. Camera cuts to the most irrational guy you've ever seen.
But there are irrational people out there, and that's actually kind of the reason why Charlie's perspective is so admirable. Because if there's somebody who's a problem, you deal with the problem. Like, in a weird way, the would you shoot the mouse question is kind of this entire manga wrapped up into a neat little package, or at least as far as we've gotten. Like, there is a level of the villains of this manga are the rabid mouse coming at you. Like...
Yeah, and speaking of the most irrational people you've ever seen, here's a painfully drawn-out sequence of a child getting bombed in a terrorist attack.
Yes, because the Animal Liberation Alliance decides they're going to bomb a steak restaurant in New York.
Mm-hmm.
One would argue maybe if you wanted to like directly stop harm, a factory farm might be a better source, but like Sure.
But that doesn't get the attention of the masses. We need to force them to open their eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly it, because one of the main points of this manga is both that optics do in fact matter, because people are going to react the way they're going to react given the information they have, but also people care way too much about optics at the same time. Like, there's this push and pull where it does matter how you're presented to the world, because people can only react to you based off of the information they have. So how you seem does still matter. But at the same time, the reason they went after a steak restaurant and murdered a child is because it's more spectacular. It gets more views on the internet.
Yep.
This is so stupid and over the top and unnecessary and ridiculous, but that's kind of the point. It's why they're the villain, because they don't really see that as the absurdity that it is. Like, there's an entire scene immediately after the bombing where they proceed to do the exact rationalizations you expect to justify this nonsense.
They're clinking glasses and drinking beers, and one of the people in the ALA is like, "Yeah, this is," but there was a child in the restaurant, like a young girl. She died in this, and Mr. Big Nose
collateral damage is unavoidable in war. Stock speech.
Yeah.
You've heard it before.
Well, we learn later that this guy, Leslie Lippman, Major Lippman, is actually like a veteran of the Iraq War. So, like, him saying that is still unhinged and like immoral, but
it comes from somewhere.
But character motivated. That's the crazy thing about this manga. So many people in it are completely fucking unhinged and immoral, but the things they do are character motivated. So, like, I'm not surprised that they do what they do. I'm still shocked and appalled, but yeah, no, I saw this coming. It's a tragedy.
Like, the crazy things they do are comically exaggerated to illustrate a point. Like, that's everything in this manga. Is it's comically exaggerated to illustrate the point that the manga is getting at, because they're coming from real places of motivation. Like, in universe, they're this unhinged. Like, the manga is never unclear about the fact that every member of the ALA is fucking insane. Like, and people acknowledge it in universe. Like, ALA members acknowledge we're fucking insane.
Yes, but the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, and that's the argument they take, and that's why they're, the villains of the story. And it's like, because it's coming from this, like, real motivated place, it lends a level of verisimilitude to it. I mean, like, extremes do exist in the real world, and, the story is focusing on all the most extreme and interesting characters.
But yeah, anyway, they take credit on the Twitters and all that. Social media goes blown up, and Charlie's first day of school is basically ruined because everyone wants to talk about the terrorist attack in New York. Someone's like, "Oh no, my family's in New York," and it's just like, "Well, hold on. Do you mean the city, or there's a lot of things that can mean?" And then we get the YouTube video of them claiming evidence, and I love the fact that you can see there's 49,000 dislikes and 29 likes on this video. And I'm like, that's I know this is like a terrorist attack, but that's too few.
Now, see, they only paid for 28 bots.
This is why they took away the dislike feature. But yeah, so Charlie leaves school early because, for the obvious reason, you would think, hey, maybe I should pick up my half-human, half-chimpanzee son from school after an animal liberation thing did a terrorist attack. Like, just precaution.
Unfortunately, the sheriff's already there.
I love these two Missouri sheriffs who are written as if they are from Alabama.
Yeah.
Like,
depending on where you are in Missouri, it's not inaccurate, but not St. Louis.
well, they're not in St. Louis; they're in Shrews, and they call Shrews a backwater area.
Yeah, a couple times.
but I don't believe that if the dad works in St. Louis.
It's a little bit of a Eagle moment where it reminds you that this is ultimately Japanese, even if it's in.
He just takes the maglev train from the outskirts into St. Louis every day.
Well, I will say this is another manga that gets people's social media reactions right, though. The purpose of this scene is to, once again, I really love the parents because, like, they're talking about, like, oh, this is not good. This is going to cause problems at school. We really need to consider maybe taking Charlie out of school. We don't want to do this. Listen, we're gonna have to talk to him, but it's looking like it's going this way. And then Charlie just comes downstairs from like he had been asleep, and he just tells them, I want to stay in school. And they listen to him.
All right.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
It's like if everyone could just do that, listen to each other, and then act accordingly.
My favorite part about their living room is it looks like they had a fireplace at one point, and then they replaced their fireplace with a flat screen TV that was the exact size of their fireplace. It's like recessed into the brick.
Yes.
I guess, yeah, when you have a chimp son, you're just like, fire bad, no. Flat screen, good.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of America. Hashtag anti-vegan. Hashtag eat meat. Hashtag vegan suck.
I love all of the, like, culture war discourse that happens. This is so funny.
For all of the times a manga will try to depict America, and this is sometimes, like, this happens in, like,
in some ways this is more accurate than Eagle.
Yeah, no, like so many manga we have read have been really good at accurately depicting the absolutely delightful and wonderful discourse that's had on social media.
Yeah.
But this is also where we get introduced to the main villain of the story, and he's a guy. He's got permanent crazy eyes going on. Mm-hmm. Before they set it up like he was going to be the voice of reason, and he's not.
He's really not. It's your guy Max.
Max Firebrand. I don't care that they rearranged the letters a little bit. His name is Max Firebrand.
The pareidolia is crazy. Like, it's Feyrabend, like Feyerabend, but it's Firebrand. He's Rivera Firebrand.
Yeah, you know what you're supposed to hear when you read that.
Yeah.
Also, where's Max coming from in that name?
I think that's just an alias he goes by.
Yeah, he calls himself Max a couple of times, but they also make it clear that that's a fake name.
It's very obviously a fake name.
Yeah, because he gives it to Lucy later.
Yeah.
Speaking of on-the-nose names.
She immediately goes and does, like, she's very smart, so she immediately, informs the proper people. Like, she informs Charlie's parents and goes to the lab that he said that he was affiliated with, and they're like, yeah, no. So...
Oh, yeah, that's a little ways off, but I love the fact that she tells the authorities about him, because, like, so many stories would have it be like the kids have to figure it out on their own. No, there's no reason for her to do that. She just tells the cops.
She goes to the Kornberg Institute, and they're like, yeah, no, we never had anybody named Max that fits that description. Like an African American man with, like, crazy eyes. No, we never had a guy like that.
Nope.
But yeah, that's a little bit off yet, because most of the, like, next section before that point is just Charlie and Lucy bonding.
Yeah. And also establishing the small town villain of the sheriff's deputy with a grudge.
The instant this idea was presented, I knew exactly where this was going, and this manga isn't subtle. It goes exactly where you think it does.
Yeah.
When Charlie was previously in school, the sheriff saw the aftermath of an incident where Charlie was clearly defending himself.
We get it from the deputy's perspective. Phil is his name. And from his perspective, 10 years ago, when, Charlie was still a major phenomenon and people were, like, holding big events and whatnot, the police were instructed to make sure that, everybody around the humanzee stays safe. There was an incident. He ran in and saw this little weirdo hybrid standing there in the middle of 7 police officers who had all been beaten to within an inch of their lives. And like one of them was his buddy. So from his perspective, it's a monster, put it down. But as we learn later, it's more complicated than that. And again, it's the manga being shockingly good at having people act in believable, self-interested ways that makes it hard to blame anybody for their perspective.
I think that's a good way of putting it. It's hard to blame people for their perspective. Their actions, in most cases, are very easy to blame.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's also Firebrand, who's just fucking nuts.
I also love Ozzy's little sidekick, who is like, man, this vegan stuff is because we're pandering too much to minorities. You can't say Merry Christmas anymore.
I love both sides McGee over here going like, hold on, this is getting a little heated. I'm just going to say, I think these vegans have gone too far and they've had rights for too long. Also, minorities have had it for too good for too long. And I'm like, buddy, you're in Missouri, not in like Maine. I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, yes, you can't say Merry Christmas anymore. That thing that you just said and suffered no negative consequences, because buying into the culture war means you have less critical thinking skills than a fucking rock.
The implication here is vegans are stopping you from saying Merry Christmas too.
Yeah.
Well, because you need unhinged crap like that to justify these hot takes. Like, and I mean, like, again, it goes into the one of the core themes of the manga is like, if you are not paying attention, if you are just like letting these things hit you and not engaging your critical thinking skills, some of the crazies seem like they have good points until you rub 2 functioning brain cells together and realize that they're making these kinds of false equivalences, like that vegans are killing Christmas or something. Like, no, that's not a thing. That was never a thing. You're completely conflating 2 totally different things to try to make your point because you don't actually have one.
And
I like my side theory that Sidekick McGee is actually super racist and is just casually trying to push it into conversation. Like, yeah, vegans have had it good too long. Also, Muslims, are we cool on them still?
I mean,
no, okay. I'll keep working the room.
I buy it.
I know, Matt, you're framing this as a joke, but I know people like that. I've had to deal with people like that. That's a thing. I hate them and I want them to go away.
I love Charlie's response because he's just like, dude, I'm vegan. I literally don't care. Eat whatever you want. Birds, cows, pigs, fish, other humans. I don't care. What?
Look at horrified.
Why
What?
not? Because human life is important. In what way?
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, honestly, Charlie doesn't even frame it that aggressively. Like, he's literally just saying, make your point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't
I'm
agree
being
with
more
you.
aggressive than Charlie.
Convince
I'm projecting
me.
onto him like everybody else does.
Yeah. Well, because it's so easy to see, like, I mean, like, in a lot of ways, it's so, and this is just true flat out, it's so easy to see disagreement as, like people will take it as a personal attack. In some cases, when people ask you a question, it's not rhetorical. They're saying, okay, make your point. Sell your point to me. I don't agree with you based off of the information I have, so why are humans different? And I mean, like, to some degree, like, the manga doesn't always like just categorically side with Charlie. I mean, to a large degree, there is, there is a level of humans, because we are sapient and we have so much power over the planet, do kind of sit in a special place. Like, do we wield this power responsibly? That's a really good question nobody asks. But, and like the manga is sort of, I feel like the manga is kind of building up to that of like, yeah, humans are different and humans are special and humans do deserve their own category. But that means we need to be responsible with the power that we wield, and being in that separate category is something the villains do not understand,
Yeah.
But like, Charlie
because they've
is
never thought about it. They're essentially parroting information that they've just been told and have not taken the next step to critically think of why.
exactly.
Mhm.
You know, like
Exactly.
think why, and then just tell me why you've arrived at that conclusion. I'm not, immediately telling you that it's done. I'm just saying make that argument. I'm just tell me why. Why do you think that?
Because
Or-
that will help both of us come to a better, more full understanding.
Or better yet, just complete your thought. Because Charlie's here, doesn't feel like you've got a full worldview at the moment. You're just saying humans are important because.
Yeah.
Because why?
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying. Why?
Challenge your own biases. Examine your own assumptions.
All they needed to do was put a crucifix on sidekick character, and then that would have been like, they're just better for a reason I'm not going to name.
Yeah, this manga asks two questions. The first one is, what do you do when the world around you is unjust? And the second one is, what do you do when your assumptions are challenged? Like, those are the two primary questions the manga asks.
And the third assumed question of, should I really go for the rest of this debate course learning tape, or was the free demo all I really needed?
that comes from all of the lack of subtlety. Funny joke as that is, I do think that the manga is very good at, in a lot of ways, Charlie is often the vehicle of this. The manga does kind of pose the questions directly to you, dear reader. What is your opinion on this subject? There were a lot of cases where, I breezed through this really fast, but there were a lot of cases where I would stop reading and I would actually engage my critical thinking skills and actually, kind of parse what's being said here and what my opinion on the subject is. There's a lot of interesting stuff brought up here that it's so easy to just have a snap decision, but think about it. Actually make an informed decision. It's really freaking important, especially with how fast the world moves today. It is very important to sometimes not even take, days or even hours, but sometimes just take a couple of minutes, stop, think about it, and form a complete thought. It's really important.
So we have the extremely uncomfortable conversation of ALA Max and Lucy.
It is exactly the scene that you think it is. This manga is one of the best examples of tropes or tools, and oh boy, they are using all of the tools.
My favorite part is that he calls Lucy the girl with the kaleidoscope eyes, and
Yeah.
my medium savvy brain is just oh, there's probably something about Lucy's character design that doesn't translate well in the black and white of the manga. Or it's some sort of thing in the translation that doesn't come across 100% or whatever. So it's something I don't necessarily get. And then 8 chapters later, Dr. Stein is just no, it's a reference to the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
I love that whole sequence, just because of what it ultimately ends up meaning. I don't think it's unreasonable to just discuss it here. I love that ultimately the conclusion is he has this big moment of, yes, I understand now. I have unlocked the secret. And the secret is he's a really weird guy who likes confusing people with random bullshit that doesn't actually mean anything. And it's that is actually important information.
It is.
But you got really excited about figuring that out.
Max is all flash and no bang.
Because Dr. Stein's just crazy. He then goes on a side tangent of but also, the only thing I could think that could make this a puzzle, a few years later, not any significant numbers of years later, they did discover the person between the specimen between chimpanzee and human evolution.
The nearly complete Australopithecus afarensis. The whole time when Lucy's name was mentioned, I'm there's something to do with the name Lucy. I don't remember what it is, and then that scene happened.
Yep. And it's just Dr. Stein is just explaining the author's connection, because it's not Max made that connection. And even if he did, that's just Max being a weird guy. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's also a step further and doesn't really make a lot of sense. But my favorite reaction is Lucy sitting on the couch going wow, an ancestor with my name. And I'm like, no, honey, no, they
No, that's not how
named
that
the
works.
remains.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Dumbo moment. I'm like, Lucy, you need to go to bed. No.
Lucy has her moments where I'm just like, oh no, you are the weird girl in high school. Like,
Oh, you are
Like-
the stupid teenager.
like she has rants where she's just like, all those people are just backwater hicks. And I'm like, so while that may be true, you could also just be being a dick. Which
Mhm.
Yeah.
maybe that's why you have no friends.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, that's the whole manga in a nutshell. Like, she has these moments where she just, like, has a gut reaction, and stopping to think a little bit and consider things more carefully would probably result in things going better. Because quite frankly, it doesn't take it doesn't take that much effort for her to actually make friends later on.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
I just love how this entire thing with Max's conversation with her, it all ultimately comes down, it's like treated as this big reveal, and then at the end of it, it fizzles out like, this means nothing for the overall plot. Why did he do that? I think he did it because it meant nothing to the overall plot, and it was just a distraction.
Yeah, he yeeted a flashbang into the plot, like, and like, as silly as that sounds, like, he is a character who relies on subterfuge. He uses distraction and he uses diversion as a way to further his goals.
He stabs an ally in the gut later in order to do that.
The end justify the means.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like you would never see it coming, but it's totally in character for him because that sort of like injection of chaos is what he uses to move his plans forward. So it's fun because at the end of the day, none of the specifics meant anything. It was all a flashbang.
You just spent all those mental resources digging up your Beatles trivia in order to figure out that deep cut that I made. And while you were feeling so clever doing that, I am now 3 steps ahead.
You know, it's like it is actually good information to realize you need to treat him like the Joker and just not pay attention to his shenanigans.
And I love how the scene immediately following that is Charlie's just texting on WhatsApp with Lucy, and his parents notice, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm texting my friend." "Your friend? Wait, you have a friend? Is it a human? It's not just like a squirrel or whatever, right?"
They're so cute.
And squirrels don't have WhatsApp.
I don't know if it's cute. I found it like, I don't know. My read of it was that she was just being very like, well, jerky. I'm just like, what the heck? You sent him to a human school, and your first inclination is that he made friends with a bird and was texting it.
I think she's
What?
just genuinely surprised he made a friend so quickly. Like he was at school for half a day.
But that's
Or
such
I guess
a
he's
jerky
been back
thing
a
to
second.
say. Like, oh, you sure it's not a squirrel or something? that's something that I would expect Ozzy to say. Like, what the heck?
It
Unnecessary.
I don't really get a mocking tone from her like
It-
expression, but
it feels like kind of unintentionally mocking, you know? Like, Hannah genuinely wants him to have made a friend and be integrating into society and participating in school.
But his parents are well educated. They sent him to a human school. I'm sure they vetted this to the nines, and then you have the audacity to assume he's obviously working on fitting in. He has technology, and he's like obviously messaging someone. Like, why would you then imply that he's
Yeah, and her husband mocks her for it because she's flying off the rails. Like, she's so excited that she's like, I'm not getting my hopes up, am I? This is real, right? And like, especially like when you get the expression of when it's like he does point out, yeah, he's texting her online. Like, come on. That and like she literally gets tears in her eyes and is just like, and like it's like, oh, you have to tell me everything about her. Oh wait, no, you need your privacy. Never mind. Like, it's so cute.
It's pretty
such
cute, yeah.
it's such a mom thing. I love it. And then of course Charlie, who doesn't like, no artifice. Hannah is like going into the like high school, like mother of a high school kid, you know, like, oh, I've got to do the motions. Charlie's like, do you want to see her texts? You want to meet her? Like he has no like
I love it.
extra layers or like concerns. It's just like, yes, this is my friend. I would be absolutely pleased if you met her. I'm fine with this.
Well, let's bring her along to the next visit to the Cronenberg Institute so she can see your bio mom.
Really just jumping straight to the point there. Yeah, we thought it'd be better for the plot revelations.
But I mean, it really had no reason to ever come up again. At this point, thematically.
This is the only time this could come up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this is the point where you need to address this. And I do find it interesting that it's like, because this is the only place it could come up, they have to like they yeet a plot coupon at the wall, and I have no idea what it means.
Yeah, so it's like they're meeting there so that she can find out that Max doesn't actually work for the Institute. She gets that confirmed. They're talking to Lucy to say, hey, you should come over for dinner. Hannah's really excited to see you. And then the doctor's just like, oh, you should go see Ava while you're here. And it's like, Ava? Yeah, that's my biological mother. So it's like, and then they go to the dingiest fucking like observation room. Like, okay, now we got to look inside the thing.
Here's this
And it's just
photorealistic chimp. It's very unsettling compared to Charlie.
And like, it's just an old chimpanzee who we find out was like traded around between zoos and circuses and was just a genius and was adopted by Dr. Grossman. And then we get a very concerning series of paragraphs where this the doctor here explains that Dr. Grossman was a bit of a misanthrope and was very secretive, and also called this monkey his wife to people. And then once the monkey was pregnant, he burned all his research
And ran.
And this is when I'm like, oh no, he might have just to the monkey.
It's chimp.
I really hope we're being metaphorical right now, and I'm gonna continue to presume that that's what's going on.
The internet has ruined me, so never Google this.
Never Google this.
Never
Google
Google this.
anything is just good advice.
But Lucy's like, hey, wait a minute. So you're saying that Ava was like exceptionally intelligent by chimpanzee standards, and we've got Charlie here, so she probably recognizes him. We could like communicate with her, right? Oh no, the birth was so traumatic it gave her brain damage.
Which fair. She was like hemorrhaging a lot of blood and stuff.
Yeah.
And had to go in.
Cesarean
Yeah.
section gave her brain damage. I mean, I guess.
Well, she was miscarrying.
A lot of brain
before she was-
damage. Yeah, with
But-
blood loss and everything.
But Sam, to your point, this is all the doctor saying this. And then she's like, yeah, everything she said, she really can't communicate.
It's because she's a woman, isn't
Yeah,
it?
the doctor is not respecting her. Meanwhile, as they're leaving, she pulls over her flashcards and like spells out, I am. It almost looks like woman, but I like it. She spells most of a sentence.
Yep, misogyny.
That's gibberish.
It's
She's
gibberish.
just hysterical. She doesn't understand. And it's just such a weird plot coupon.
I am W03N. I am Woon?
Yeah, it's an upside down. Okay, so I'm gonna say this because hopefully, dear listeners, you've read along with us. But if you have not, just because I am sure there is something here, but I don't know what it is. It is a upside down 1, which everybody has been, myself included, has been reading it as I, because next is a card that says am. There's a card with W. Then there's a 03 card on its side. So the 0 kind of looks like an O and then an N card. So I am 1, like victory 1. Like,
Yeah.
with how unsubtle this manga is, this means something.
It's gotta.
It's gotta, or it's like just an accident where the mangaka was just like, I want her to just throw some random cards on the ground, and made the classic Far Side mistake of making one of the tools look a little too much like a saw and leaving no chance of understanding what the other things are.
Cow tools. Hell yeah. Then we get my favorite moment of the characters being mouthpieces but still being believable, because
Oh yeah.
after going to the Institute, Lucy goes back to the Stein's household for dinner, and she's like, hey, no artifice here. Do you think I should be vegan? And Hannah's about to do a very like political statement of like, oh, I mean that this isn't something that we try to like push on people. We're not recommending it. We just made this meal because that's our belief in. And then Gilbert is like, yes, I think you should. You asked me directly, didn't you? I think you should. And I also think that being vegan is difficult because we live in a system where animal exploitation happens at basically every stage of the supply chain and production of daily goods. It's really, really hard not to engage in any animal exploitation. So don't beat yourself up if you can't be perfectly 100% vegan right out the gate. Just do your best. We're only human.
Yeah, it harkens back to the scene with the butterfly where, you know, there aren't easy answers.
Yeah, and he also even directly says there's no one perfect way to live.
The two of them sort of like you can see the way in which that they work well together, because he directly answers the question that was asked. Because it's like, obviously they both think this. It's like, you know, it's like, we're vegan because we think it's a good. Yes, we do think that other people should do it. But she also, like, considering there has been a recent terrorist attack in favor of veganism, like, it's not totally unreasonable that she has the perspective of, you know, separating herself from that, because that sort of shuts the entire conversation down. So it's like, setting that aside and pushing that away is not an unimportant, you know, element to the conversation.
Yeah. And like,
you know,
interest,
perhaps she's a little bit too high strung, you know, but you know, like it doesn't depict her as being wrong and, you know, being political.
And the interesting thing is the other actors in this manga, like Ozzy, the anti-vegan bully at high school, or the ALA, any of them would look at what Gilbert said and call him a coward. Like, oh, Mr. Middle of the Road, the good man doing nothing. Oh, yeah, no ethical consumption under capitalism, so do whatever you want, right?
And actually, Lucy even directly addresses that point.
Yeah.
And Gilbert illustrates there is a difference between fence sitting and moderation. I recommend moderation, which is like, you can kind of see where Charlie gets it from, because that's, you know, that's Charlie too.
Exactly. And it's really interesting, because I don't expect this level of nuanced discussion in the manga about the half man, half chimp.
the half man, half chimp going to high school, having to battle terrorists because, oh boy, it's about to get interesting.
He's ready for a home invasion.
Well, my son brought a girl over. Dinner's done. You two better go up to his room. What?
And like, their relationship is so sexless, which
it should be, honestly.
It should be,
yeah.
But it's also like everything else in this manga is so aggressively like grounded in the real world where real people live that it feels weird that it's so sexless. But
I know, because everyone wants to fuck that chimpanzee, Sam. I'm picking up what you're putting down every step of the way.
Well, no, teenagers be horny. Teenagers want to fuck.
Teenagers love fucking chimpanzees. That's why they can't go to the zoo. She does have a Pornhub hoodie, actually.
She has a Pornhub hoodie.
I'm gonna call it a victory that you don't get any tags vibes from this.
So, like,
honestly, it's too busy being unsubtle, because we have to cut over to the terrorists and their fatigues.
It's too busy being a mouthpiece for and against veganism.
Yeah. But it's like, are the Steins just blithely innocent, or are they relying on the fact that hybrids can't have children?
I think they know their son, and their son seems so
Uninterested.
emotionally detached from everything, and like that's probably not even entered their head that their like son would have any concept of like human attraction.
Yeah. But yeah, the ALA are stalking out in the backyard, and they are ready to go in, kill everybody but Charlie, and kidnap him.
I like how there doesn't appear to be any way to drive to this house, meaning they must park far away.
It's the rural small town classic where you live 20 minutes outside any like major urban center.
They don't have a driveway.
Yup. And you're like, oh, it must be in back. They're surrounded by trees.
Their house is just in the middle of a field.
They parked on a dirt road 10 minutes away and marched through the woods.
I love the little things like that are just like the little idiosyncrasies that make you go, oh right, I'm reading a manga about Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh.
But despite these like spec ops like super soldiers very subtly breaking into the house, Charlie has preternatural animal senses with his keen sight and hearing merit. And so he hears them picking the lock and is able to sound the alarm before either his mom or dad can get knifed.
And we just get a shonen action scene out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy.
I love it.
The
because,
thing,
like, one of the assailants is running up the stairs to stab Lucy. So Charlie yeets Lucy off the staircase to land on the couch, which allows him to also jump off the staircase and kick one of the ALA assailants in the head so hard that it basically knocks him out. And then he almost rips another man's arm off.
He puts him in a joint lock. It's just a shonen fight.
I love how while putting him in the joint lock goes, you're right-handed? Well, not anymore. What?
He doesn't even break.
So menacing.
He doesn't even break the elbow, which he could very easily do. We learned later that his insane chimpanzee strength meant he was digging his nails into the guy's forearm so hard he nearly severed the tendon.
My favorite part is these people are decked out like they're doing a spec ops thing, and their plan is to go in here and kill everyone and take Charlie.
No knives. Or no guns. No guns. Only
they
knives.
do this with knives. They do this with tiny ass knives. This is America. You can just buy a gun.
Yeah, freaking what's the Modern Warfare 1-2 2019 mission where they go into the house?
Like there is no reason these people shouldn't have guns.
It's not like there's neighbors that could hear the gunshots.
It is more reasonable that you would go in with a gun.
If they live far enough out in the country, it would be less suspicious if there was just a bunch of gunshots.
Yeah. But no, they go in with their combat knives, and at one point the Chinese guy in the group and Charlie get into ora like kung fu punch off.
It's not even like they're vegans and they don't know how to use guns. Two of them are Iraq war vets.
We get a flashback of Major Lippman shooting a guy and slitting another guy's throat in the same panel.
This is another one of those moments where it's like, as much as these characters are very overt mouthpieces for ideas, they still manage to be people, because the Major, when Firebrand is like, okay, we're gonna go in and kill everybody, and the Major's like, oh geez, I really don't want to do this. This sucks so much. And he's like, hey, before you were all talking about sacrifice and collateral damage and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I said that to keep up morale because there were a bunch of kids who were about to quit. I don't like this. I'm not happy about it.
It doesn't get easier to kill women and children, you know?
Yeah. He has his ideology. He is very extreme, but he's still a person, and he still reacts to the concept of violence.
Yep.
Which is a really important character moment And I think it's an important contrast with Firebrand, that Firebrand, like, it doesn't even occur to him. Like, he doesn't even think about that. Like, that really tells you the kind of person that he is.
Yep. But after Charlie
ninja fights.
After Charlie mollywops the assailants, Firebrand goes and cuts the electricity, which causes a blackout just long enough for them all to escape before the emergency generator comes online.
And that emergency generator must have taken 30 minutes to come online because they call the police before the blackout happens, and the police have just arrived to their remote rural house.
I love the next scene because it's like, yeah, we reported the incident to the police, but we know the sheriff's department doesn't like Charlie. We don't trust that this is going to do anything. And then Karen shows up.
This is another character where it's like, she's immediately presented to you. You're supposed to dislike her, and then over the course of her like later scenes, it's revealed how much of a person she is. Like the sort of
like the school board.
Yeah.
She's like involved.
Like, her freaking out is not like unwarranted. Her daughter almost got stabbed.
Her daughter was part of a terrorist hostage situation, that was about to turn into a murder. Like,
yeah, like, I can call her Karen all I like, but it is reasonable that, you know, she would be a bit peeved about this. Though I do love her Devil Wears Prada outfit in this rural Midwest town.
Well, she has to let you know that she is that girl. She is that woman. She is accomplished.
Yeah, the like power shades, the business.
Yeah, the pencil skirt,
the business skirt and shirt, like.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's sort of where, like, that's sort of like where the duality of this manga comes from, because it's like all of the character design coding is designed to make you think of her as, if not an antagonist, then an actual villain. But she's not. She's just a mom who's scared about her daughter almost dying. And like the more time you spend with her, the more reasonable even her most unreasonable like comments start to become. Like, you never necessarily come around to like agree with her perspective, but it becomes so much more reasonable and so much more understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I like that she looks exactly like how I thought she would when I saw her contact in Lucy's phone was Lydia.
Yes.
Not even mom, just Lydia.
Tropes are tools.
But I really like the conversation that Charlie and Lucy have, where it's just like, why are you so like distraught right now? Like, we survived the encounter, nobody's attacking us right now, why are you worrying? I'm worrying because something could happen. The bad guys are still out there. You're still in danger. So you're saying that the human ability to worry about future outcomes causes emotional distress. Yes. And if the source of that emotional distress went away, my friends and family wouldn't be in turmoil anymore. Yes. Charlie, where are you going? Cut.
I was unaware they were causing you active pain currently. I am going to stop this active pain from happening.
I'm going to fix that.
Cut to the like motel in the middle of nowhere that the ALA are hiding out in, as Charlie breaks open the door and walks inside like, you are going to stop causing distress to my friends and family now.
He's so reasonable. Like, that's not even sarcasm. He's so reasonable. There are parts of the scene that are interesting, but
there's some Sherlock Holmes bullshit going on here. Like, well, yep, sure, why not?
Listen, you can try with that gun, but it's not going to work. How did you know I was going for a gun?
Well, you see, I read the Wikipedia article on heterosis.
You see, because mules have the best features of both donkeys and horses. That means that the humanzee must have the greatest features of both the human and the chimpanzee. All the raw primal strength of the ape with the vast intellect of the human.
Yes.
Actually, I'm even smarter and stronger than apes and humans put together. Also, I might be chimp Jesus. Come back to me on that.
We have a hypothesis here, yes.
And Max is like, oh, you want us to turn ourselves in so we won't be a threat to your friends and family anymore? Okay, well, clearly we're not going to win this fight. Let's do that. Hey, sure. I love this because Max is such a fun snake. He's such a slime ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this all of this is so interesting. This honestly might be my favorite scene from the manga. Like this whole extended like hotel into the car like conversation that they have, because okay, so for a start, one thing that I really like about the context of like what gets them in the car and everything, it has been shown over and over again that these guys are so hideously in over their head, and like it establishes, our main character is, like idealized. There are like elements of him that are aspirational, and yet Max, even though he takes a series of L's here, but he still comes across as still being a step ahead. Like they managed to give Charlie like this really badass scene and yet still maintain the villain as a credible threat, despite the fact that like everything has been going wrong for him for like 3 chapters now. The other thing is, and this is something that I'm actually curious what my other hosts think about this. Over the course of this conversation, and I mean like over its breadth, I feel like this is slowly revealed. I kind of get the impression that Max is full of it. That he doesn't actually believe, like he's not doing this for the idealism. He's doing it like, I don't know, to prove he can or something. Like I feel like he has an ulterior motive that has nothing to do with animals.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of hint at that. I mean, so they're all kind of banded together for for austerity's sake, united cause, but they all have internally their own motivations. To the depth of which is not, thoroughly explored individually, but, it's kind of hinted at, Max and his colleague, his right-hand man, are both, war vets. I would wager that there's also a sense of like almost chasing that high of
like he's doing it for the thrill.
Probably, possibly.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, there's also, he could be just that insane. I mean, his colleagues have called him like, he is crazy, but, we feel that the ends justify the means. Probably there's some money in it as well. Someone's probably funding it.
Yeah, I get that feeling too. It feels like Max cares more about flexing how cool and smart, and it's got
moral.
That's very apt, and that's also the reason why he gave me red flags, and I'm just like, nope, I can't side with this man.
I don't think Lelouch is doing it just because he can, but
No, but the personality, he's kind of like the ego.
Yeah. I'm going to do it in a more extravagant way than I have to just to prove that.
Oh, you mean Zero, like the
yes,
persona he puts on.
The persona of like, yes, literally aura farming. The aura. I need the aura.
I need to go meet Lucy face to face and give her some cryptic nonsense. Why did I need to talk to her at all? Now she knows my face.
Yep.
Though I actually love that, Matt, you mentioned like one of the the elements of it is proving that he's more like part of what he's doing is to prove that he's moral. Because there is a comment that he makes that like, oh, I'm so glad the manga brought this idea up. Because, no subtlety. This is, like he's being a mouthpiece illustrating an idea. One of the things I love is he talks to Charlie and like tells him that like, you're being put in a cage, you're being forced to conform into human society. He never gives Charlie a word edgewise.
Yep.
Charlie isn't in a cage.
No, it kind of. I mean, my interpretation when he was going on this diatribe was essentially he's projecting. It's kind of what you perceive. What do they call it? Well, people will call it like white knighting, when it's like people will take up what they perceive to be a underdog's cause without
actually
necessarily getting
understanding them.
without actually getting the input of the perceived underdog and being like, well, what is your end goal? What do you perceive to be these injustices? They are projecting what they feel is injustice onto you. And then if they like are confronted with, hey, actually it's not that bad, or I don't feel exactly that way,
or I do have a problem with it, but you're not helping, you're actually making it worse.
You're doing activism on behalf of those who never asked for your help.
I'm not just doing whatever I want, I'm helping you. And I mean, animals are great for that because they can't ever actually talk to you. So you can just decide you're helping them.
It becomes like during the school shooting, we'll get to later, there's a whole thing about how like animals can't stand up for themselves. They can't vocalize their own pain and the injustice they suffer. They need a Spartacus. But you're right, Matt. It becomes this thing of like, well, they can't ask for help. They also can't say that you're not helping.
Yeah. One of the things that I have always like this is something that I've known about for a very long time, and it's one of those ones where it's like, this is really, really freaking important to understand, because there is injustices levied on animals by people in the world. That's real. That's important. You should be cognizant of that. However, one of the things that is like really important to remember, there have been multiple separate instances of people breaking into zoos and opening zoo animal cages. The animals don't leave the cage because that's their house. They're happy and healthy there and have no desire to leave. You're not helping them. You're just grandstanding, PETA.
Yep.
And like, it is interesting because I bring that one up because I do wonder if the manga is going to directly address that specific idea because of something Charlie mentions later. But if you put an animal in a space that it is not healthy for them, that's wrong. You should not do that. But also, you can put
people can twist that.
Yeah.
You say healthy and say, well, obviously their natural environment is healthier than this controlled environment by humans. And there's documented instances that certain species actually have greater longevity in captivity than in the wild. And
congratulations, you just released a lion into New York City.
Yeah, and it's like it's one of those ones where it's like I know this has happened to tigers an inordinate number of times where people have opened tiger cages and the tigers don't leave because they're actually well fed and enriched in their space. And it's one of those ones where it's like there are zoos and
try to release into the wild. You released the big cat.
in a city.
The closest possible wild analog you could get to an actual house cat.
And it's like, there are cases where a zoo is not keeping an animal well. And there are certain animals, like Jay mentioned, there are certain animals that actually live longer and better and healthier lives in captivity. There are also some animals that there's a pretty serious question of, is it ever ethical to keep them in captivity? Because can you build a captive space for them that can provide for them properly? Elephants come up in this conversation. Whale sharks come up in this conversation. So, like,
I love whale sharks. They're amazing.
they are amazing, but there's a really strong debate over whether or not whale shark, because there are some captive whale sharks, and we don't 100% know whether it's better or worse for them to be in captivity if they
That's huge.
uh
Why?
there's a really really big tank in, I don't remember where, but it is at least on paper big enough for their whale sharks, but people have brought up health concerns about them because they are pelagic fish. So it's like, that's a conversation to be had. Like, should they be kept? There are strong arguments for they can be kept healthily and ethically, and there's also some strong arguments to say that there just isn't a tank big enough for them and they can't be kept. But that's not what this guy is doing. This guy is yeeting a brick at the tank and potentially killing the poor shark outright. And this benefits no one. It's just grandstanding. This makes it worse for animals, and I really wish certain people would learn that.
There's a really good documentary about a breakout at the Central Park Zoo. And like a zebra escaped, and a lion, and a hippo, and a giraffe.
Oh,
and
yeah, I love
they
that
really formed a
documentary.
tight bond.
Yeah. Yeah, great. I love that documentary. Worth a watch, everyone.
We get the true understanding of how much of a psychopath Max is because he's having this conversation with Charlie. And I really like this because Max is a very good manipulator. We see it later. He is able to manipulate a person into committing not just one, but several murders. But, you know, he can't get Charlie to side with him. No matter, like, what appeals to emotion or morality or ethics or whatever he comes up with, Charlie's idea is, I'm me. I'm just one guy. And you say that I'm special because I'm one of a kind. Every single animal on Earth, even you humans, you're all one of a kind. We're the only one of us, even if we're part of the same species.
Well, yeah, because he's trying to guilt Charlie into like this. He needs to take a position because
he wants him to shoulder a burden, and Charlie is very pointedly saying, I don't feel like I don't want to.
I'm not going to let you put me on a pedestal.
Max,
it's not even that direct.
Max is like, damn, that's crazy. Pretty solidly set argument. Anyway,
I just want to go to school and, hang out with Lucy. She seems pretty cool.
Time for me and Lipman to make our escape, and he stabs the third member of the gang in the stomach. He and Lipman jump out of the car. The car crashes, and because the sheriff's office sees Charlie in a crashed car with standing over a guy with a knife in his gut, he gets arrested.
I'll be completely honest. This is a cool scene. I don't really understand what happened here and why it needed to happen.
The chaos of the car crash is enough a distraction to keep Charlie's superhuman abilities from just catching them when they try to jump out.
I would also say that the reason that Max is staging these incidents involving Charlie because he's trying to specifically antagonize the town versus Charlie, so that they are in a situation where they can kind of pin it against, Charlie is, able to
us versus them,
kind of. So it's not just Max being crazy for crazy's sake. He's specifically trying to set up a angle here. And I think he says that at least once or twice too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's creating chaos as a distraction, and he's also furthering his machinations of trying to drive Charlie away from humans. He even says something close to that at one point, and Charlie's like, "But aren't you human too?"
Shut up. That's not
Not if I have anything to say about it, kid.
Oh, it's during another one of the cafeteria scenes with Ozzy. It's just like, you're a vegan, just like those terrorists. You're a human. Those terrorists were human. That means you're like them, right?
It's just calm, well thought out argument, just delivered like in a respectful tone and volume. Like, just I love Charlie so
Charlie
much.
is.
I mean, Charlie could have said they were human. Also, it was perpetrated by other. You also identify as male, correct? So I guess all human males are terrorists.
Charlie manages to, in the moment, pull off every like well thought out clapback you came up with in the shower like 12 hours after an argument.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, he doesn't even think that hard. He's just like, wait, what? It's not even that complex.
Yeah, it comes from him stopping, slowing down, and just considering things. Like the reason he's so quiet is because he's actually putting thought into the things he says instead of just saying things like out of pocket. I wish I could learn to do that sometimes.
Same.
Yes. Sometimes, it's important to think about what you want to say before just interjecting it. Sometimes we have to sit with our thoughts and not just fill silence with meaningless nonsense.
Indeed.
Just so there's noise.
Jay, we have a podcast.
So anyway, this podcast.
We're about halfway through the episode, so I think it's time that we take a quick break. We'll be right back after this, everybody. Yeah. And welcome back to the show, folks, where last we left our mouthpieces. That's mean, but not inaccurate. Charlie had just gotten arrested for vague connections to the ALA because he was forced into a car crash with a guy who got stabbed in the gut. And we have a very long discussion with Mrs. Stein about how Charlie technically does not fall under the legal definition of a human nor the legal definition of an animal, so he is, legally speaking, personal property of his parents and is therefore not being held as an arrested prisoner. He's being held as evidence in a terrorist attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, this is all very dry, but also very, very important, I feel, because of the main characters, the one who is the least, like, correct isn't the right word, but the character who is, like, the most scrutinized, I guess, by from the perspective of the manga is Hannah, but a big part of this is to illustrate the fact that, like, as much as Charlie is very admirable for being able to, like, cut through all of the chaff and get to the heart of the matter and, focus on what's really important, we do live in a world where, people have to react to things, and sometimes, as much as it might not be fair, it's like legal loopholes are a thing that exist in this crazy world we live in, and the way that people are perceived will affect how they're treated in things. We get the full details of Charlie when he was 5, and yeah, it's exactly what you thought. He was defending himself.
Yeah, this is really interesting because it's again the manga asking, okay, you live in an unjust system and you are witnessing an injustice. What do you do? And for Charlie's parents, they believe in the legalism of legislation and, you know, incremental change through past laws and, you know, establishment of precedent. And the manga does criticize the idea that, like, okay, a legal system like that is inherently reactive. It calcifies, and if it's ever going to address an injustice, it's going to be long after the person suffering from it is dead. But despite those shortcomings, they still believe in it. And it critically also does not present the ALA as being right, because their take is, if there's an injustice happening,
take a hammer to it.
It must be vigorously and violently opposed. And, well, the manga doesn't exactly...
The manga doesn't
take the side of the school shooter.
Yeah, the manga does not depict that in a good light. My mind goes to the, what was it, Red Circus arc from Spy Family, where there's a level of what is a justifiable reaction to a system that isn't working? Like, how far is it okay to go? Because, like, obviously, it is insanely fucked up that Charlie is technically legally property, but at the same time, it's very clear that what the ALA is doing is just categorically wrong for not just for reasons that we've mentioned up to this point, but there's also going to be even more reasons why it is categorically wrong that's going to be addressed throughout the rest of our reading. I don't want to say it's just because the law is wrong doesn't mean that you shouldn't have to follow it, because it's not quite that, but like there is a level of you can't just take a blowtorch to the system because you don't like the way things are. There is a process that is difficult and you have to work towards. It's kind of similar to the situation of I forget the dad's name, but like he illustrates the difference between fence sitting and taking a moderate stance. And this is sort of like the approach to the system version of that, where it's like you know, you can fight the injustices in the system without causing unnecessary collateral damage, even if it's difficult.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's very palpable, the message that the manga is trying to deliver here. And I have to say that, just to add to the point, while it sucks of the questionable legal standing of Charlie while he's being held, you have to reason that he's not just an animal, so you can't just treat him like an animal, but he's not categorically fully human legally either. So, you know, because he doesn't fit in either bucket, he falls into the gray area of you're just a thing or an item property.
Yeah. And it's he does definitely fall in a gray area. You should err on the side of he's a person, because he's clearly got personhood.
But that's the controversial take, because he's constantly told, "Oh, you're a monkey," but I mean, like, his parents and Lucy, like, they recognize, how's it feel to be half human or half chimp? Like, they recognize that he is both, but society will tell you that you are
neither.
A chimp.
Also, to be clear, it's not like that's the general opinion on Charlie either, that he's a thing. That is what's being used in this case for not letting him go.
Yeah.
Because a police officer is a dick and has a grudge.
And that is
Yeah.
where the sheriff actually steps in, or it's the sheriff who's just like, look, I know what you're doing, just let him go. Just
Well, if the sheriff wanted to treat Charlie like a person, no one would argue that either. It's like the problem is because he's keeping them there without rights is why this whole scene is even allowed to do the crazy nonsense it's doing.
Mhm.
Because like he's withholding a right to a lawyer, he's withholding a bunch of stuff. And that's because there is this little legal loophole where, because Charlie is a one of a kind situation, of course, legislation hasn't been passed to only be for Charlie, because the mom
Charlie
brings,
didn't exist.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the mom brings up too, well, like, why doesn't Charlie just have an exception made for him? Which he probably easily could. The problem is the mom, and we find out later the congresswoman the mom works with, neither of them want an exception for Charlie. They want Charlie to bring forth a wave of animal rights. So you can't just get Charlie his rights. Otherwise, it kills momentum.
Once Charlie eventually dies, all that legislation is useless.
He is being used quite literally as a stepping stone to a quote unquote greater plan. And so in a way, we get that there are two sides that are very obviously using Charlie. No one asks what Charlie actually wants, which is to hang out with his friend at school.
Again, like, even the people that have his best interests at heart, they still don't ask him what it is he really wants.
Well, that's the thing, though. They do. Like, that's sort of the nice thing, is that I have a feeling that a conversation at least close to this was had with Charlie off, like off panel. Sort of, I think the kind of like important point here is, as much as Charlie insists that he's just one individual, he's not like special. He is, though. Like, he is unique. Like, he defies categorization, and that puts him in a unique position that can, change the world for the better. So it's like, it's this level of one of the reasons why Charlie comes off as so, not just so smart but so wise, is because the manga doesn't like just side with Charlie. It's pretty clear that Charlie still has a lot to learn himself, and the thing that makes Charlie so admirable is that he is open-minded. Like, he doesn't ask rhetorical questions. He is actually, inciting people to actually, present, why am I special? Why is me being one of a kind, like, here's my counter argument to that.
Important.
The other, there are sort of two important points as well with this entire incident. I do like the reason why this kind of concludes is because they everyone sort of collectively points out to the sheriff with a grudge. If Charlie is choosing to walk out of the police station,
we literally cannot physically stop him.
Your evidence is walking out the door. Are you really going to find him as an object? And that's when the sheriff comes in and is like, yeah, just let him go. You knew this was never going to.
I also love Lucy whipping out her cell phone, just like, look at this white police officer oppressing a person.
I love, look at this white police officer. Everyone beside Charlie in this room is white. Like,
well, everyone gives her a look like Lucy. So, like, there's I think to some degree, like, Lucy's like passion and energy is something that Charlie could like afford, but there are many a case where Lucy kind of flies off the handle and gets like, it's like, maybe think things through before you say them, Lucy.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I think is kind of important relative to because it's like the whole reason why the one deputy has a grudge, the whole reason why this is an argument being made in the first place, is he's scared of the threat that Charlie poses. Charlie ripped a jail cell door off of its hinges and shattered the handcuffs he was in. If Charlie wanted to hurt anybody in that room, they would be a red stain on the ground before anyone realized what happened. He is not totally out of pocket being concerned about the potential danger of Charlie, because Charlie could turn anyone in that room into a red stain on the ground before anyone knew what happened. There is not zero threat here. Yes. On the other hand, it's kind of frustrating that he's taking if there's a 1% chance, we have to take it as an absolute certainty perspective, because Charlie has shown that he is not like that. He doesn't cause unnecessary violence. He has shown through his actions time and time again that is not in his character. And I sort of like that element of Charlie kind of gets license to be as chill and as reasonable and as nonviolent he is, at least in part because he is so overwhelmingly powerful. It's pretty easy to be good when you're the strongest guy in the room. I think there's some level of commentary there in that being naturally powerful allows you to be good in ways that other people might not have the opportunity to be.
Frickin' what does the guy Red Pill Gary say later, or quote later, I should say? Justice without force is meaningless, and force without justice is tyranny. Yeah, it's easy for Charlie to be moral. He just has to not exercise his tremendous power to hurt other people and use that power to stop suffering.
Yeah, it's very understandable why Phil is his name. It's understandable why Phil has the problem with him that he does, but it's also I kind of pity him in a sense, because buddy, I get where you're coming from, but you're so wrong on this one.
Phil also was there 10 years ago when Charlie beat the snot out of that squad of police officers, and he had a buddy in that squad.
Yeah, so it's personal. It's like you maimed my friend. It's very personal to him, and I do want to say that he eventually does, as to Lucy, and I think deep down he also recognized the situation and was like, yes, I understand, how he reacted and why he reacted.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he does sort of come to see and be more sympathetic about not Charlie, and really he seems to really weigh more into the bigger conversation of these two sides. How are they, going to handle Charlie's particular unique situation and dealing with this organization that has committed to committing acts of violence and are trying to get Charlie to be the head, be the
everybody knows.
Everybody
knows that they want him to be their leader.
They announced it. They announced it on social media.
Yeah, this is another case where it's like you have a character who is a caricature, a mouthpiece of an idea, and yet because you understand where he's coming from, you feel for him, I want Phil to, and as Jay mentioned, the more we go on, the more he sees the situation with clearer eyes. He's not by the end of our reading, he's not fully come around yet, but you can see he's getting there, and that's that's good. That's forward progress that you want to see. It's there's a inherent hopefulness about that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I just want to say this now because it seems relevant. Charlie's parents have a lot of the blame for that kindergarten thing, because they just sent him to go get
the fact that they were unsupervised be a bad idea.
It's a group of kindergartners who were going to learn how to swim, were left alone long enough to drown one of their classmates. But Why was
they're literal children. If you think literal children aren't going to try to commit a violence
or just jump
like
in
that
themselves, none of them know how to swim. But more importantly, the fact they signed the permission slip for Charlie to go to the pool to learn how to swim. When chimpanzees cannot swim, they are too dense. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. And sure enough, when the little kids do the little kid thing and push the guy that doesn't look like the rest of them into the water, he fights back. So
I mean, the worst part is it's pretty clear that the kids were just like, they thought it was an innocent prank and it wasn't.
Yeah. But they thought it was an innocent prank. Charlie didn't see it that way. He thought he was being lethally attacked. So he fought back. He punched one of the kids in the eye. And so naturally, from their perspective, the police are just like,
they run in and overreact in a very understandable way.
Yeah. Oh, he's moving it in literally any way. That means he's violent. Quick, shoot him with our guns.
Hold on, to be clear, he's violent because he attacked children.
Yes, because he defended him. Like no, that's the thing that's...
I know, the situation escalated, though. It's the thing. Is no one's really at fault.
Exactly.
Past the parents allowing this to happen in the first place, or more importantly, the kindergarten teachers not watching their entire class.
Why were they left unattended for any amount of time next to the pool? That seems insane to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's one of the things that this manga is really good at. It's like, nobody acted unreasonably here. And that makes the tragedy all the more, heartbreaking.
And it's kind of what they didn't account for. And again, the only reason why, obviously Charlie's being blamed for all of this is, had it had been some normal human child who was bullied, thrown in, and then tried to fight back, the kids would not have been as hurt as they were with Charlie. Because Charlie has chimpanzee strength. And then some.
It's like, it's a testament that Charlie didn't do any actual damage to the kids and just, gave one of them a shiner. Which
would have been more than another, I would say would have been more damage than another equivalent kindergarten might have given.
And it's like, had Charlie been a normal human child, he would have gotten a scolding. And that's it. It wouldn't have been an incident.
I think something that would be comparable, and not to give any disrespect to Charlie, but it would have been the equivalent of a pit bull versus a chihuahua. Pit bull got your kids as opposed to a chihuahua, which would have just gotten scolded, or a little nip versus a dog.
A bite.
I mean, the bigger dog with the bigger bite strength is the one that gets
put down.
I mean, to be fair, that's also if that pit bull then went and attacked 8 cops, some of them so severely they had to go on disability and leave the force.
Yeah. But I mean, again, if it was a chihuahua that, had the gall to try to do that.
The chihuahua wouldn't have been able to put 7 cops in the hospital. I think that's a good metaphor where it's just the... like I mentioned earlier, the idea that, the fact that Charlie is so strong allows him to be more of a moral compass. It's easy to be good when you're strong. There's also some disadvantages to that, too, because it means that, what seems like a proportional escalation might be, too far.
Think about, if you don't like the dog analogy, think about Superman.
World of Cardboard.
There is a very strong World of Cardboard vibe to Charlie. Charlie and Superman would get along, wouldn't they? I think they'd be
Superman
friends.
gets along with everyone.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I guess technically Charlie's an orphan, so don't let him near Batman. They'll try to put him in a Robin suit.
So anyway, they call a favor in from the Congress woman of Missouri, Daphne M. Linares. Her whole thing is animal rights, and now she's like, I'm gonna have to lean off that. I know I keep promising you, Hannah, that I'm gonna really push for Charlie's rights, but we got to do that as like a big animal rights push. And vegans are blowing up steak restaurants. That's not really a politically viable topic at the moment. Which, I mean, I can get that point, but then you also get the vibe that Hannah's been being told for years to just sit back and wait for this to happen. And something else is more important. Something else is more important. Now, really,
it does have that energy.
The timing of everything is really suspicious, and I really hope it's connected because at the moment it just seems like everything happened purely by happenstance on Charlie's first day of high school.
Yeah.
And judging from characters' reactions, it does seem like it's just purely happenstance, but
I wouldn't put it past the ALA that we see to have kept tabs on Charlie to wait until he's...
Well, Firebrand was outside the school that day, so
well, they also reference it. They're like, it's exactly 15 years. It's exactly 10 years since that incident. It's like they've been tracking him for years. So 100%.
Yeah, because an important thing is part of the settlement for that whole incident with him beating the snot out of 7 cops was, all right, we're not going to press charges. We're not going to make this a public thing, but Charlie is basically on 10 years house arrest. And so he wasn't allowed to leave the Stein family premises for a decade, which does explain some of his weird behavior. He is not socialized. He's never seen another human besides his parents. And his parents are fairly normal, but also kind of weirdos.
They're weirdos in the way everyone's a bit weird.
Yeah, like you don't become a lawyer and like a chimp
monkey surgeon
expert. You don't become a lawyer and a monkey surgeon because you're going with the flow, you know? When Bully McGee and his little dumbass sidekick say something like it's an everyday occurrence, just, you know, an eminently known fact, Charlie's like, no, finish your thought, explain yourself. It's not as obvious as you seem to be thinking it is. And it's also why he doesn't react when there's vegan monkey terrorist fuck off enemy of humanity taped on his locker.
High school.
Anyway, Operation Get Charlie More Friends so we get humanzee rights. Go, Lucy, go.
And then we find out Lucy has no friends and has no idea how to make friends. And is just really bad at it and gives up very easily.
Oh, Lucy.
I love the scene. I love the flashback scene of her mom being just like, all right, you're not going to stop interacting with the Steins. I'm going to transfer you to another school. Well, if you transfer me to another school, I'll just stop going to school. Have fun taking care of a 30-year-old Prozac addict who plays video games all day in your basement.
Damn, that was personal.
She has this revenge planned out.
Yeah, it's up for her. I kind of want to see this. I want to see this Lucy era. I'm morbidly curious.
There's so many things in this manga that are so real that it made me laugh.
So, like, obviously, we're rooting for Lucy to stick around. We want Lucy's mom to, like...
We like Lucy.
We like Lucy. We want her to stick around. And we want Lucy's mom to understand that, like this is important. And, you know, it's like... This is also the scene where we get the most human reaction from her, where she's like she's so clear about everything, where it's like, Lucy, I am terrified you are going to die. Please be reasonable about this. You know, and like Lucy like starts off with this, you know, it's like, you're being racist by calling him a monkey man. He's actually a chimpanzee. And then it just keeps escalating. Lucy, sometimes you need to keep the inside thoughts inside.
As it turns out, Lucy has also not been socialized.
No, she hasn't.
All hope is not lost, because they do, in their effort to make more friends, approach two random girls that I guess are in their class and about a school assignment or whatever, and they casually hang out.
Yeah, we've seen them sort of like orbit nearby Charlie every now and again.
So
the-
it seems like the majority of students in this school, not the bullies, are just kind of like, this is kind of weird. I mean, Charlie's kind of weird, but, you know, they don't hate him, you know?
There's a lot of mob mentality going on.
Yeah.
Charlie mentions one thing about it's like, I don't think the legal system cares the number of friends you have and whether or not you get rights. So I'll just keep being your friend, and I'm fine with that. And Lucy's like, yeah, screw everybody else. Which, funnily enough, her like having that like positive energy ends up actually attracting people almost immediately.
Yeah, once she's not coming on too strong and being super fake, like
Yeah.
people are like, oh.
These two actually seem kind of interesting. Oh.
Anyway, Weirdo McGee from the
like first or second chapter.
First or second chapter, the guy who's just like, hey, I heard you're a vegan. Well,
How many more ways are we going to hash that? Okay, we already had the vegan discussion.
That means you're a terrorist.
good to know, brother. We're on the same side. It's like, well, no. Hold on. I'm not with him.
Well, yeah, there's like, it's like one of the first chapters we touch on it. There's like this sting of there's one guy who's like, I'm on your side because you're a vegan and that makes you good. And then like he's walking away and it shows a close-up of the ALA logo on his phone.
He's got it as his phone lock
I
screen.
know,
like,
and
come
I'm just
on.
like, hey, maybe if you don't want to be out terrorist, don't have that as your phone screen, like wallpaper. What the heck?
Well, he's not a terrorist. He idolizes them is kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So cringe.
He's not a terrorist yet.
Yes.
So anyway, he's got all these animal rights posters and he's doing a one-man protest in the center of the schoolyard.
The PETA thing that we've all seen of just pictures of like the hideous conditions of factory farms. And
this is a really interesting scene, but it's kind of a lot of stuff that we've already gone over, where there's a level of I think his name is pronounced Gare. I think it's supposed to be Gary, but
there is no this guy has such a weird name.
But
Gar.
You know, it's like, honestly, what he's doing isn't that egregious, and like they're intentionally provocative images. So Ozzy having a problem with them is not like completely out of pocket either. The problem is Ozzy flies so far off the handle, so fast, with almost no provocation whatsoever. And unfortunately, it's kind of what Gar wanted. So it's one of those ones where it's like, both of them have defensible stances, but they both go to such extremes so fast that neither of them are really easy to defend. And oh boy, escalation.
Gar's getting exactly what he wants here, though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. He was engagement farming 100%, and he got it. Someone took the bait.
I do love both sides of McGee chiming in here, just going like, oh yeah, so we're ending animal suffering. Science actually is out on whether or not certain kinds of shellfish or jellyfish. Consciousness is a really hard to define thing. Also, plants are alive and can be considered conscious. And he's just like, shut the fuck up. Like, no one likes you. Get your Nazi face out of here.
I love Gar's response to that. Because, yeah, it's just like, no, yeah, take your false equivalency elsewhere, dumbass.
I love his metaphor because I don't 100% think it tracks if you're trying to think it through. But he's just like, nope, keep going on, because he's trying to get a fight going. But it's essentially just like, do you not get it? A red light means stop. You don't need to draw a clear distinction between red and green for drivers to stop at red lights. I'm like, well, hold on. No,
That is a clear distinction.
You do need to do exactly that.
I don't care if the jury is still out on whether ants or cabbages have consciousness. Cows can feel pain, just like your dog. Right, Ozzy? How would you feel if your dog was strung up and cut and carved into like beef chuck?
Yeah, this is honestly a problem that a lot of discourse, unfortunately, in the internet age has kind of always had, where this is just two people sniping past each other and not really addressing each other's points. That's why you get these weird traffic light metaphors where, I mean, to some extent, like, there are parts of both arguments that you could theoretically defend, but it's clear what both sides want, and it's a fight. And that kind of semi-invalidates most of what they say, which, fortunately, Charlie is here to, prevent the fight before it actually comes to blows. And then, okay, the fight has stopped, and both of these people are just sniping past each other pointlessly and not making any points. So I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go now. Thank you for this. Whatever this is.
Lucy hops in and is just like, Gar, you really were just causing a scene. You weren't actually changing anybody's minds. Don't you think you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar? And we get like just a great line from Gar, which is just like, how the hell are you supposed to oppose slavery without antagonizing the slave owners? Which just like shows how far down his rabbit hole he is. It's just like, I don't have to freaking respect your beliefs. Your beliefs are evil. Yeah, I guess there's really no wiggle room on your worldview there.
Extremes seem rational when you are that far,
deep
like that deep in that mindset. I mean, a lot of this could use a little bit of Charlie and calming down thinking and completing some of those thoughts.
Yeah,
maybe figure out that traffic light metaphor, because I didn't get that one either.
I'm actually colorblind. Red and green look the same to me. It's a huge problem.
You should not be on the road, sir.
Nope.
Unfortunately, the situation is just dispersed and everybody goes home, and Gar goes to live stream on the Red Pill channel.
The Red Pill
in front of.
Yes. Oh, they got so close, but so far away.
With his wall of Che Guevara and Mao Zedong and just all these far left posters.
Well,
like
Sam, it's because they're all communists, so that's obviously what the Red Pill means.
Yes, red is literally red.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. It actually makes it worse.
Makes it so much worse.
I also refuse to believe the Red Pill channel is not already taken and has the pitiful subscriber numbers that he does.
But before we can dwell on that for too long, he's talking with his chat, and they're just like, "You don't look so hot." No, I was really disillusioned today, just seeing how powerless I was. And then in the chat, "You want real power? Come outside right now."
Come outside.
What?
Horror sting.
I'm not sure how I should feel about all the people in his chat have French first names. I'm not sure what that's saying. Maybe the French love a little Vive la Revolution.
Yeah, it's 100%. They're co-opting.
It's not like they've ever had bad experiences with revolutions. French.
Never.
France does love feeling passion, I guess.
They are very passionate people. A different type of passion, but yes, very passionate.
Our French listeners. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
France, next time Paris is on fire. Actually, no, someone's probably done something to deserve it when Paris is on fire. Anyway, I love the thing about the ALA is presumably they kidnapped this child because they go to have lunch with him the next day, but they picked him up at night.
Yeah. He goes out to the van that's just parked in his backyard where Max is waiting with a gun and a Guy Fawkes mask saying, "I've been looking forward to meeting you, Red Pill Gary."
With that creepy face too. Oh gosh.
His face is always creepy.
Yeah, I'm just like, he has no sense of self-preservation, no stranger danger, no, do not get into the white van, random white van. They do not have candy.
Unless you count the guns.
It might be morning. I'll give them that, because they do go to a diner. It feels like lunch, honestly. because no one's there.
Yeah.
And then
They go to a diner and order carrots.
they order a plate of carrots and black coffee. And I'm like, buddy, vegan terrorists have been blowing up restaurants, and you come to here and you don't even eat your fucking order of carrots you got for the table. What the? Just get coffee. Just get black coffee.
Yeah. At Rainy's diner, Gar's like, "Ugh, I can't stand the state of the world right now. But that bombing in New York opened my eyes. After all, you're clearly on the right side of history. Everybody praises the founding fathers, and they committed a bunch of murders." Okay, buddy.
It's sad when Max is the one making the most sense in this conversation.
And then the Trump voter who runs this diner shows up at their table.
My favorite thing about this guy is he's wearing a St. Louis Cardinals baseball hat, and he looks like a fat retired Mark McGuire. Like,
Oh my God,
he's
wrong.
He's got a goatee. He's chubby. He's got a Confederate flag tattoo. He calls Max the N-word.
You know, I don't know if Mark McGuire has a Confederate flag tattoo, but
In the face,
Mark
at least.
McGuire- Pardon me, but that's baseball, right?
yes, the St. Louis Cardinals is the baseball team for St. Louis.
It would not be a far stretch to say that the mangaka, would be aware of baseball.
Oh, almost. Mark McGuire was very famous. Like he's had a huge scandal for doing an insane amount of steroids after winning like so many home runs. The fun thing was the like baseball game he was in on like the PS1. He was so buff in his prime that he is represented just by like a downward facing triangle. Like he does not look like a human being. Whenever someone said, "I can't believe he was on steroids the entire time," I'm like, "Were you blind?"
But after the owner of the restaurant calls Max the N-word, he holds Gar back and it's just like,
Oh yeah.
"Hey, you know how your sign out there says the restaurant where Funny Rainy entertains you? Maybe change it to Funny Racist Rainy. That'll keep those undesirables away, white man."
I will say, again, it's one of those, like, part of the reason why Firebrand works as a villain is because, like, that's such a clever retort. Like, that's such a good line.
Yeah.
I'd like it so much better if it wasn't so contrived, though, because who has that like slogan on a diner and like it's set up exactly the way? I mostly just don't like the restaurant where Funny Rainy entertained you. Like what?
Yeah, because the like the salient point of the line is that'll keep the undesirables away. Like that is so cutting.
It is.
That's such a good line. And then it escalates.
They seemingly just walk away. Cut to later that night where...
What is the time scale? I just realized. Hang on a second.
No, it's insane. They like kidnapped this kid and spent an entire day at this diner to murder a racist. Like
they camped out for like 14 hours waiting for Rainey to take out the garbage. They kidnap him, and then Max is like, "Hey, Gar, you know how we're fighting for animal rights, but animals don't have a voice. They can't speak for themselves. We were talking all that good earlier about how being on the right side of history, what's right and wrong doesn't change. People's perspective just changes. Back in ancient Rome, Spartacus was seen as morally wrong for that slave uprising, but we say that he's right now. So don't you want to be right? Don't you think the animals need a Spartacus? Here's a knife, and here's a bad person." And so Gar stabs Rainey to death in the back of this van.
Yeah, there was a whole thing about Firebrand asking the Major if it's like, "What do you think of the new recruit?" And the Major's like, "Yeah, he's gonna fold the instant that there's any blood. I've seen his type before.
He's just a jumped up young person, high on his own farts and idealism. He'll crumble the second that things get real. And, well, Max proved him wrong, I guess. Surely this won't escalate into a tragedy.
Max does actually have a lot of Joker energy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like this.
Are you talking about the Joker from The Dark Knight? You would, you nerd.
Maybe I should have talked about a Morton Joe instead.
Oh, because I mean, this whole shtick isn't that, but it has the vibes of the one back.
It makes just enough sense to Gary that he is willing to disregard the personhood of another human being and murder him. And it's like, yeah, he was a racist beast. He had a Confederate flag tattoo, suffer not the traitor, but
he did not deserve any of that.
Also, this is in a diner in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea where the fuck they waited for 14 hours. Like, there's no place to hide. It's Missouri. It's flat. You can see the mountains south of St. Louis off in the distance, but like other than that,
you know the opening of Pokemon Coliseum. It's basically that, but slightly more green.
Only slightly.
Oh,
so the whole Beatles scene happens,
and
that we talked about earlier.
Yep, and then we get to the after that funny scene, we get to the part of the manga. I had to like at the beginning and then several times in the middle go, oh my god, they're actually doing this? Oh no.
Yeah.
Honestly,
a school shooting.
Honestly, I think that this was brilliantly framed, because one of the things that I noticed about the way it presents itself to you, there's a point during it where some of the language used implies it's not as bad as you might initially think it is. Like maybe, like he's just like shooting to injure and everybody. Nope. It is exactly as bad as you think it would be. And I kind of like that, because like they're like that, speaks to like the hopefulness of maybe it's not so bad, maybe we can fix this. No, it is that bad.
No.
It has gone that far.
We have not only crossed the Rubicon, we have lost sight of it behind us.
Yeah, and the sort of important point in here from like a character perspective is the reason Firebrand's doing this is to try to present Max with a not Max, trying to present Charlie with a no-win situation. Like basically present him with the butterfly caught in the spiderweb problem, which I mentioned. He doesn't realize Charlie's already well aware of the complexity of the real world, the fact that sometimes there isn't a clean solution, that you can't always just, super monkey powers save everybody. And Charlie just does his best. There's a really cool scene early on where it's the big thing for Phil, like one of the big moments for Phil, where Charlie has just collected everybody who has the best chance of being saved, and carries them to the police as they arrive. And as like Phil is obviously like, draws his gun, don't move, and Charlie's like,
you damn it, you damn dirty Abe, what are you doing? These are the people who have the best chance of surviving. Get them to emergency response right now. I'm going to go pick up more. Oh.
Yeah, and...
Oh, okay, get me an ambulance right now.
Yeah, and you can see him starting to, see the situation, but especially Charlie, with clearer eyes. There's obviously still a great deal of distrust, but it's a good moment.
Yeah. I really like this. Like, it is in this like darkest moment of tragedy and blood and evil, Phil is able to put aside his personal hatred for the greater good. And like it's not perfect. It doesn't entirely mean that he's turned a new leaf or that he and Charlie are going to be best friends going forward, but it's a little spark of light in this absolute fucking horror show, which is good to have as Gar is pointing his weapon at Lucy's head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and she is
actually
rather ironically wearing her "Be Excellent to Each Other" shirt.
I love her shirts. Yeah, this is actually also the point where, because of some of the things that Firebrand says into Gar's earpiece, it's like he's sort of he's taking the time to explain his evil plan, and it's like, oh, they're like having a bunch of critically wounded people is part of the point. Maybe this won't be a body count. Maybe it's just, solvable. And then there was someone next to Lucy, and no, that's definitely not what's happening. It is as bad as it can possibly be.
Yeah. Also, I don't think we've said this. Gar's been live streaming this entire thing.
Yeah.
Which we get to see the comment section, and it's saying, "You terrorist." And I'm like, well, your heart's in the right place, but jeez.
I mean, what else do you like?
I guess you don't watch. I don't know.
It's comedically impotent, but like, what else do you do? Like that is another one of the like cornucopia of messages the manga has. It's like, what do you do when you're entirely powerless in the face of a tragedy?
Mm-hmm. And then like personal like heart sink moment for me, like after getting over the shock of, oh my god, they're doing this storyline, cutting to Hannah, who was in a meeting, so she didn't have her phone on, and she sees she has 39 missed calls from her husband. I'm like, oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like, oh god. Like
and
10 missed calls would have been bad enough. 39 means he has done nothing but hammer that contact in his phone for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and on top of that, it cuts immediately from that to poor Lucy's mom.
She's doing the thing that any panicked parent would do in this situation: force her way past the police line, because in the moment your protective parental instincts say that you're strong enough to fight God and that school shooter.
Yeah, and that after Charlie had gotten out everybody that he could, Charlie was about to leave the rest of the police when he realizes, oh wait, Lucy's still in the building, and he goes back in.
Yeah.
We cut back to Gar, who we last saw holding a gun to Lucy's head. Go, hey, did you go vegan?
If I say no, are you going to shoot me?
That is such an awesome character moment for Lucy. What a based response. I don't think I would have the courage to say that, but I would want to have the courage to say something that
hardcore. Yeah. And just further emphasizing what a fucking psychopath Max is, he's watching all of this through like Gar's camera. He sees Lucy and he's like, damn, this girl's hardcore, I love her. And like, you're saying that for every wrong reason, guy.
Oh,
I love the like back and forth between Lucy and Charlie, where he catches up to her after she just broke down over like working up the courage to tell Gar off. And he's just like,
this isn't justice.
This isn't justice. I'm like, hey, Lucy, your mom's outside. Ready to go? It's Gar. Oh, you want me to go catch him? No, leave it to the police. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna get you out of here.
I just love how accepting he is of what Lucy says is a good idea. It's like, no, you make a good point. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie is probably the least stubborn character in this story, which is interesting because he's the one who changes his position the least often.
He lives in the moment.
Oh.
But
and right now the moment is my friend and myself are in mortal danger. I need to get both of us to safety.
yeah, but when Lucy sees that the police are about to do a full armed breach, she decides that they have to at least try to
Save Gar's life.
yeah.
And in his live stream, which we learned later was actually on like a 5-minute delay, Gar sends a message specifically to Charlie accusing him of fence sitting. It's like, you say that you're just one animal, but when you're the bridge between animals and humanity, how can you take that neutral stance? You're just reinforcing the unjust status quo. And it's the same thing that Dr. Stein said. It's like, at what point are you fence sitting, and at what point are you just doing the best that you as an individual can? How much power does one person have? Even one weirdly exceptional person like Charlie.
Yeah. And also, is any of this actually providing any benefit? Like I think kind of the most important thing to Charlie is that he's heard the ALA's like arguments. He's also seen their methods, and he doesn't like them. So no, I'm not gonna help you. Your argument is bad, and your methods are not worth the cost.
So
when the police breach the room and they're about to shoot Gar dead, Charlie uses more of his shonen hybrid powers.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Gar has this whole little like monologue that sounds really flowery and nice until you realize it's all leading up to him just trying to suicide by cop because he thinks him dying is a nice little punctuation to the message he's trying to send. And like as he's about to like aim the gun, shoot at the cops, so they have to shoot at him. Charlie just like ultra instincts through the camera, is like, whoa.
The paneling is very.
I laughed so much at this paneling because it's just like suddenly monkey. Oh.
It's 3 whole panels of him moving faster than bullets to karate kick Gar into a wall.
Well, the sort of fun thing is, it's very well paneled. It's like excellent sequential art, but at the same time, because it is the humanzee over here, it looks inherently absurd. Like, honestly, it's cool, but it's also really goofy at the same time.
But with that, Gar is taken alive.
Yeah, Firebrand is disappointed because he also wanted Gar to martyr himself.
He's disappointed, but he's also like, ho, Charlie, you trickster god, you are a worthy opponent. We cut to a news anchor saying that this is an unprecedented mass shooting, and what year of America are you living in?
At least 10 shot in high school is kind of insane because we see him just open fire in the cafeteria.
Yeah,
it's way dead. More than 10. Like,
yeah.
10 dead. It says 10 like deaths. It
says 10.
You don't
shot,
know how many injured. 10 casualties. Yeah.
Oh, they do think it. The infographic on the news says 10 shot, but I can understand how that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the YouTube comments. Has a school shooting video been removed? It's here. Link to another website.
Police should be cracking down on vegans.
Man.
Good old social media. An excellent place for serious discourse. Clearly what it was originally intended for.
Somehow less unhinged than Twitter is right now. Anyway, thus brings us to the end of our reading.
As Firebrand says, the lights go down, the curtain rises. Act 2 is about to begin.
I do really find it funny that the one thing I saw from the preview of the next arc on the chapter thing is like, Charlie declares war. I'm planning to go take down the ALA. What do you think?
That's such a Charlie. That's such a Charlie thing to say.
So, here at the end, favorite character. It's actually hard to say. The characters in this are weird, but very interesting. I think I gotta say it's Max though. Mr. Firebrand. The pareidolia of his name was funny enough, but then everything else that he did is so like
unhinged.
He feels like what fandom thinks Moriarty is.
You're not wrong.
The always 3 steps ahead flamboyant weirdo of a villain.
You don't understand, Holmes. Mysteries don't want to be solved.
I got a little bit of the Disney version of Thrawn, the Star Wars canon version of Thrawn from him, because like I said, they did a good job of showing him to be very, very smart, very, very dangerous, even when he unambiguously loses, even when he gets in over his head, he still manages to be at least one step ahead. And it's like it's almost like Thrawn and the Joker did the fusion dance or something. It's a really insane character, both in the sense of that he's crazy and also insane as it is just a wild character.
Matt, how about you?
Oh, I love Bert. Bert's amazing.
Bert's pretty fucking
Bert's
great.
just a chill dad who helped a weird chimp give birth to her abomination against nature baby and was just like, that's my son now. I'm telling my wife later.
For God's sakes, he just wants to grill. Jay, how about you?
This is a tough one. I suppose I would have to, if I had to, it was between either Max for hilarity's sake and Lucy, because I appreciate the fact that Lucy wanted to, or sees Charlie for who he is and is interested in him. And despite her having her own tangents that she goes off of, you know, sometimes to read the room a little bit better and think before she speaks, I think she has a good heart, and that Charlie, who is a fountain of wisdom age, is able to actually feel comfortable in confiding in Lucy. So, Lucy.
Hell yeah. And Jacob.
I mean, I kind of feel I have to shout out Charlie as like the most admirable character, in the sense that, like, I wish I could be as well thought out and even-handed as he is, but
Same.
Honestly, my favorite character by far is gotta be Hannah. I loved all of them, but like, she's just like, she's just got such a mom energy to her that I find endlessly endearing, to the point where even her foibles and the parts where like she does something like incorrectly or awkward or whatever, it still is endearing to me. This is such a for someone so severe to be under that, like, a thin layer of that be so sweet is just, I don't know, charming to me.
Indeed.
I honestly don't think that there's a bad character in the bunch, because even the ones that we were mocking are funny for how wild they are.
I don't know. The Fourth Reich initiate, who's Ozzy's friend, might be. He only appears to be a mouthpiece for Fuse. So it's like, science says they don't have feelings.
All these minorities making us not say Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you for
and
illustrating
give
my
a
point. He's such a train wreck. You can't look away. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, buddy, we're talking about vegans. What? I don't know what you're talking about, but we're not there, and hopefully never get there.
And would you continue reading? Absolutely yes. It was hard for me to not. Like, normally the outline is done right before we start recording. I finished the reading and immediately did the outline because I just had so many thoughts that I needed to start putting them down. Jake, would you continue reading?
Oh, of course I'd continue reading. This is another one where I kind of feel I have to point out an important element in that it was so light and breezy and easy to read. In a lot of cases, I'm a slow reader. I want to read more, but I never really feel like I have the time to. I did this in one sitting, and I didn't even actually mean to. It, and it's like I mentioned, there were points where it's like I was reading it, and it's like I stopped for a little bit and like gathered my thoughts and like really like addressed the ideas it was presenting to me, and it still went by in a flash. So something like that, especially when it is so good at, it's the kind of series that asks a lot of questions and doesn't give you definitive answers, but it also does have opinions. It's not fence sitting, it's not both sidesing. It, like it's most of its heroic characters are saying, we have a perspective and we're going to present our arguments authentically and fairly, and we're going to leave it to you to decide what your opinion on it is. Like both the extremes, the middle ground, both sides of both. And for something to be able to convey all that as like quickly and lightly as it does is genuinely impressive.
Jay, how about you?
So, full disclosure, I accidentally read past today's allotted reading. So, I guess that goes to say absolutely. I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah.
Always a good sign of quality when that happens. There are a couple of series that do that to us.
And Matt.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. It had that Eagle, the making of an Asian American president kind of thing I love, of like, oh, you get so close to America, but then the little like idiosyncrasies that are just fun. And then Mark McGuire, the racist like diner manager, was fun. So I didn't expect a manga to be based in Missouri. And here I am going like, dang, they're actually not completely off. Damn.
They're hilariously close.
Oh, I got some interesting thoughts. I want to find out if Dr. Grossman is the chimpanzee. It's unclear so far. Oh.
I don't know why you guys are so preoccupied with that. It's kind of disturbing.
It's called morbid curiosity for a reason.
It's just weird. It's just weird that he told everyone it was his wife.
No, he didn't. Oh
yes,
my God.
Did. He explicitly did that. He's a weird guy.
You're both weird.
But yeah, that's a 4 for 4 recommendation. If it wasn't clear, read this manga. It's really good.
Or check out the anime.
I wonder, is that out yet?
When they're
yes,
listening
I believe
to
it
this.
is. Huh. And when I checked the wiki, Max, Mr. Mr. Firebrand, is voiced by the same guy who plays Solid Snake.
Is that
Amazing. What?
I don't think it's actually David Hayter in the English dub, but at least the Japanese actor is the same one who plays Snake.
Amazing. That's weirdly fitting.
I saw that and laughed my ass off. It made so much sense. But thank you, everybody, once again for tuning into the Over Manga Cast. As always, you can find us on all your social medias where we are at Over Manga Cast.
You can also find us on YouTube where you can like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what you thought of the manga. Tell us what you thought on the interesting ideas it presents. Hopefully we can follow along in Charlie's example and have a hopefully thoughtful discussion on the internet, please. We also have overmangacast.com that also has a comment section. Tell us what you think of the show and give us any recommendations you have, because obviously we love getting recommendations.
And as always, we appreciate reviews in any and all forum. Go ahead, reach out. We love hearing from you. Let us know. Speaking of things we love to go back to, hey Sam, what are we reading next week? What are we reading next time?
Next time, we are going to be returning to a classic. We're going to be reading Golden Kamuy, chapters 70 through 97. So if you're keeping up with the show, be sure to read those, and we'll see you all in 2 Thursdays. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, I'm glad nothing weird ever happens in Golden Kamuy.
Can't wait to see another bear get sodomized.
I was about to say, is someone gonna fuck the bear?
Oh no, not more!
Excellent ending.